Okay, so in this video, we are going to be learning shadowboxing. Shadowboxing is an amazing workout. Most martial arts have their system and style of shadowboxing. The martial art we're going to be displaying and working today is Muay Thai. Muay Thai is one of the most popular and one of the most practiced martial arts on the planet. It's a system of the 8 limbs. So in Muay Thai, we focus on utilizing every single part of the body as a weapon for offense as well as defense. We use both of our fists, both of our elbows, both of our knees, and both shins, making it the art of 8 limbs. So this style of martial art really incorporates the entire body. So over the video, we're going to go over the basic foundation and techniques of each individual strike. We're going to be using this primarily as a workout. So this could absolutely be a warm-up that you do to get prepped for the workouts. You're also going to kind of really learn how to move the body and keep yourself light on the feet. Really understand what the movement of the flow does for your movement. It's just a really good way to kind of learn about yourself. So we're going to go through over the basic techniques. And again, this is not a video that's going to teach you how to fight, but what it is going to teach you is the basic understanding of all the individual techniques that make up this martial art Muay Thai. So if you practice these fundamentals all the time, looking in the mirror, being able to see yourself and get a good visual of what you're doing, you can absolutely really develop a small minor skill set. Absolutely, 100%. You're going to be doing what 9 out of 10 people aren't doing. So it's going to give you that advantage. But let's just focus first that making certain that we are doing it as a warm-up. Great way to kind of get the body moving, the heart rate going, sweating. So this is an excellent workout. So let's go ahead and start off focusing on your fight stance. So everything I'm going to be doing in the video is based off of right-handed, just because the majority of the people I train and have trained with are right-handed. If you are a southpaw, everything we do applies to you. It's just the exact opposite fight stance. So if you have questions, contact me on the Facebook group. I can message you individually, maybe make a separate video for you. But just for the purpose of time, we're going to focus just on the right-handed fight stance. Okay, so let's get positioned. You want to focus on keeping yourself light on the feet. You also want to make sure that you have full control of your balance. So your left foot is going to be positioned in the front. So I want my hip, my knee, and the tips of my foot, the tips of my toes, to be lined up in a straight line. Visualize somebody in front of you, and my front leg is mirroring their back leg. This is what I mean by a straight line. If this person's in front of me, my front leg is lined up with their back leg. So I'm straight on my front leg. My back leg is going to be a 45-degree angle. What I mean by that is my front foot is straight. My back foot is going to avoid opening 90, is going to avoid being straight lined up. I'm going to find that medium right in the middle, 45 degrees. So from the front view, it's just like this. Just like that. And my legs should be about hip width apart, making sure that I'm not on a surfboard where they're lined up, making sure I'm not squared off. I want to keep front foot in the right here lined up, back foot hip width apart, 45 degrees of direction that my foot, knee, and hip are facing. And I want to have it at an angle, just so that way I have control of my balance and my leverage left to right. So go ahead and get in your fight stance. From the hip down, you should be able to have full control, relax, swaying back and forth. Up top, my hands are going to be positioned right on the sides of my chin. My chin should be tucked down by my collarbone, giving me the best opportunity to keep my hands up and protect my face. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure my elbows stay tight to the hips. So with my foot placement lined up, I got my leverage, I got my balance kicked in. I've got my hands up, my elbows tight, my chin is down. Now what I'm going to do is called blade my shoulders. So the best way to remember about blading the shoulders is to imagine you just pulled a bow and arrow just before you release the arrow. From the side it looks like this. There's my fight stance. See, what I'm doing is I'm pulling my right shoulder back, and what this does is a few things. Right away, it shrinks the target. You'll notice, right when I blade, the right half of my body is further in the back, making a much further target for my opponent in the event that we were using this for that. So you want to make sure when your hands are up that you're what's called blading. Pull the bow and arrow back and hold it. What that also does for my jab, Squared off, which means my shoulders are straight. There's my length of my jab. When I blade, watch the extension of my left hand. It immediately increases on what's called my distance and my reach. So by blading my shoulders, I gain myself an extra, sometimes 4 to 5 inches in my distance, and then I line up right there. This just allows you to make sure that you stay at a safe distance, keeping your opponent at range, which is what this is called, and it also keeps the back half of my body protected. So now that we've got the fight stance, elbows tight, shoulders bladed, front foot lined up, back foot 90, and my heels are slightly off the ground. Now I don't mean I'm wearing high heels. I'm not on the stilettos. They are just not flat-footed. So they're just slightly off the ground. You can kind of see my heels are up, just as allows you to be called what's light on the feet. These are a lot of terms that you've probably heard, so we're going to put them into a perspective. So here's my fight stance, everything we've lined up. So we're going to start with our 6 basic punches. Our jab cross, both hooks left and right, both uppercuts left and right. So here we go. Straight punches from the front view look just like this. Notice my elbows stay tight. Imagine you're in a wooden box, no bigger than the width of your shoulders, meaning I don't have the luxury to even lift my elbow like this. I'd be hitting into the box. With that mentality, I want to throw my straight punches. So my punches come straight from my hip. What that means is when I throw my punch out, my hip is moving with it. This avoids my elbow doing this. I don't want to lift my elbow to throw a punch. When I do that, I'm disconnecting my arm from my body. And when I'm throwing any punch, all of my punches are going to come from the source, from my hip. So I keep my elbows tight. This allows me to throw 2 straight punches. Pay attention to my elbows when I throw this jab cross. Those elbows never bow past my shoulder. They stay on the inside. It's a lot quicker to get to the target, and it's much harder to see coming. When you're hitting on the straight punches, I'm turning my knuckles and I'm rotating, impacting with these major knuckles, the index and the middle finger, big knuckles. Those would be the points of impact on my straight punches. So the jab cross, I'm rotating, rotating straight punches. Jab cross, always back to the fight stance. Make sure the hands always come back to the chin. The second they leave, they come right back. So there's our jab cross. We got our hooks, left to right. Our style of hook, we throw a hook and it's similar to the jab. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Notice again, I'm not widening out, telegraphing it. It stays tight from the hip. The finished product of the hook looks just like this. My thumb is facing the ceiling. My elbow is as high as my thumb and shoulder. It's all in a straight line, and the bending of my arm should be about 45 degrees as opposed to 90. The reason we do that in Muay Thai is because we have a kick flow system, meaning a lot of times we follow up with kicks after our punches, and my leg is a lot longer than my arm. So to avoid throwing a hook and coming too far off on the kick, we open it up 45 degrees. So when I throw a hook, when I throw a kick behind it, the distance matches up so I can effectively throw this combination. So when I'm throwing my 3 punches, jab, cross, hook. Notice how my opposite hand always stays up. Jab, cross, hook. Then I come with the right hook. My hands transfer. Watch the hands. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook, hook. With my heels off the ground, you're going to notice my back foot can pivot on my straight punches. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook, hook. My left hook, this is called the Elvis hip. What I don't like to do, especially not in Muay Thai boxing, this is a technique that you can get away with, which is pivoting. So when we throw our hook, we don't want to pivot. The reason is, again, we are a kicking system. So if I throw a hook and I pivot and I miss, or I come up short, they're going to kick me right in the back of my leg. So for that reason, we throw the hip like that, like Elvis Presley, boom. Shifting the knee and my heels off the ground, giving me that ability to move my knee in and out. So when I throw the hook, my hip does the same thing as the hook. Back in, back. Motioning and everything's flowing together. Let's put those 4 punches together. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Now we're going to the uppercuts. Uppercuts is similar to the hook. We're in the fact that I open it up 45 degree. So when I'm throwing an uppercut, lead uppercut, which would be my left one, I do what's called change levels. Again, to avoid disconnecting my arm from my body. I bend. Left hip, left shoulder comes down. Change levels, change levels. Left shoulder drops, left hip drops, and my knees bending, calling changing levels, because I'm coming underneath them. I change levels. I don't drop my hand. Here, boom, 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 boom. Always exhaling when you're throwing the strike. Again, it's 45 degree when I release it. From the side view, it looks like this. Notice the shoulder kissing my chin. When my hand leaves my chin, my shoulder comes back as a backup. It also allows me to use all my back muscles in my hip, leading the way so my knuckles are the impact, but all the power and the technique comes from way back here. So I change levels, uppercut. Change levels, uppercut. 45 degree, touching. Same thing on this side. Change levels, right hip, left shoulder, turn in, uppercut. 45 degree, touching the chin. Shifting down, uppercut. Shifting down, uppercut. Again, 45 degree, opposite hand stays up, chin is down, eyes are straight. Boom. Let's put all 6 together in a flowing motion. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. Putting those 6 punches together gives you a nice flow. Now let's work on what's called your foot jab, aka teep in the Muay Thai world. Foot jab or teep is basically me throwing my leg and stabbing somebody right in the stomach or the face or the leg. So let's start with the rear foot jab, rear teep. This one is a straight motion where I'm just kicking straight through them. Imagine your bedroom. Imagine your bedroom is on fire. You're in the hallway. You went to go get a snack. You come back and there's smoke coming out from under the door. You try to open it, dang it, you locked it. So now your door's locked and you can't get into there. So instead of bum rushing with your shoulder, dislocating your shoulder, you throw a foot jab. I'll demonstrate, then we'll break it down. It's the same for both legs. So there's the door. I got to get to the other side. Let me go ahead and do that. One more time. So what I'm doing is I'm loading it up and shooting my hip behind it. First, this is what I'm not doing. I'm not flicking my knee. I'm actually throwing my hip behind it. Details, front foot opens up. Small step, heels off the ground. Small step, I'm opening the door just a little bit. I hear boom. Opening it up with the heel up. This gives me my balance, so when this leg comes up, I don't want to do this. From the ground. Open, knee comes up to the hip. Notice, when I do that, my upper body stays down with my hands up. Step, knee up to the hip. Step, knee up to the hip. Once my knee comes up to the hip, watch my hip as I shoot it straight out. Up, boom, back out. Step, knee up, shoot it, back to the fight stance. Step, shoot it, reset. Last detail, when I throw this foot jab, the opposite shoulder is gonna pull back. What that does is that allows me to balance myself out so I don't fall forward, I don't fall backward. Step, foot jab, watch the left shoulder, back. Step, foot jab, watch the left shoulder, back. From the side view, watch the left shoulder. From this side view, watch the left shoulder. From the back, watch the left shoulder, back out. Same thing on this foot jab. Left foot jab goes out, right shoulder comes back, shoot the hip. The only difference is I don't switch my fight stance. Keep my right leg back. The footwork for the left foot jab is this. Step. Step, it's open 45 degree. Remember that, I don't change the position of my foot. Step. Step, knee up, back to fight stance. Step, knee up, back to the fight stance. Step, knee up, shoot it, back to the fight stance. Step, shoot, fight stance. Step, shoot, fight stance. right shoulder pulls back. Step, shoot, fight stance. Step, shoot it, reset. Remember to exhale every time you simulate throwing the strike. Back to the fight stance. Right foot jab. Left foot jab. Right foot jab. Left foot jab. Now the knees, exactly what we just did, minus this part of my leg. So I do the same thing. Instead of that, all I do is tuck the bottom part of my leg behind. And the same thing, with my heel off the ground, knee comes up, and I shoot the hip. Back out. The higher I can get my heel off the ground, the more control I have on my hip to lift and fire it straight in. Heel off the ground. Whoosh. Back to the fight stance. Step. Heels up. Shoot it. Reset. I do the same for both, just like the foot jab. Step. Shoot it. Reset. Step. Shoot. Reset. Step. Shoot. Reset. Let's review. Jab, cross. Hands up, knuckles tight. Hook, thumb up, 45 degree. Hook, thumb up, 45 degree. Uppercut. Knuckles up, 45 degrees, shoulder touches the chin. Knuckles up, 45 degree, shoulder touches the chin. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. Foot jabs. Step. Up, shoot it, left shoulder back, reset. Left foot jab, step. Up, right shoulder back, reset. From the front, again, the foot jabs. Back. Back. From the side. Back. Reset. Last ones are the elbows. These are real quick. We're going to do 4 elbows. Over the top and underneath. So again, if I imagine they have their hands up, I'm coming over the guard and under the guard. So these 4. The basic detail behind an elbow is to hide and eliminate this part of my body. So that way I can focus on hitting with the tip of my elbow. Here's a little detail for that. So when I'm throwing elbows, to avoid pushing my forearm, because I'm not hitting with my forearm, I need to hide that so my tip of my elbow comes out. So when I'm throwing my elbows over the top, I'm actually punching myself in the chest. What this looks like in slow motion. If I'm throwing a right elbow over the top, my knuckles from here go straight into my chest. You notice my elbow already elevates up. I'm here, knuckles in, elbows already flying over. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting my knuckles into my chest. Knuckles, shoot it over. Knuckles, shoot it over. And then it's just similar as far as the punch. I'm shooting from the hip. Chop. Chop. Other hand stays up. Chop. Chop. This target is whatever is in its way. And this is a very powerful tool. So whatever you're hitting, especially if it's in this region, it's going to do some damage. So the rear elbow, knuckles in, boom, chop it over. Same thing here. Knuckles in, chop it over. From the fight stance, back again. Knuckles in, chop it over. Chop it over. Chop it over. Last 2 elbows are coming up top like an uppercut. So again, our uppercut, I need to eliminate this part of my arm. So all I'm going to do is fade the hair. Check it out. I'm doing this with my hand. Fixing my hair, sliding on the side of my ear, and then I shoot my elbow forward at the same time. Everything's from the fight stance. Notice how the elbow coming from my hip straight up, and I'm sliding my hand by my head. That's the whip. That's the whip. Same thing on this side. Same thing on this side. From the front, elbows are tight. Other hand stays up. This hand. This one. This one. All 4 elbows. Let's run it back from the beginning. Here we go. Get positioned in your fight stance. Hands up. Left foot in the front, facing straight. Back foot hip width apart. Knee, hip, and foot are 45 degree. And here we go. 6 punches. Jab, cross. Hook, hook. Uppercut, uppercut. Left foot jab. Step. Shoot it. Reset. Right foot jab. Step. shoot it, reset. Left knee, step. Shoot the knee, reset. Right knee, shoot it, back to the fight stance. Elbows over the top, underneath. We're gonna work left to right. This is just a great way to kind of remember the flow. All 16 of these techniques, you can create an unlimited amount of combinations. So when you're shadowboxing, once you understand these basic 16, you can create as many variations as you want. Let's put all 16 together in a shadowboxing movement, really good for about 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I said 16 because it's our roundhouse kicks. Our roundhouse kicks, because of lack of an impacting target, this is what a roundhouse would look like. Obviously, I don't expect you to be able to spin right away. So for the sake of you getting yourself comfortable, you take the same step, open it up, heels off the ground, and just throw the leg straight up, back down. Step, up, down. Step, up, down. As I swing my leg, that arm on the same side as swing on my body. This is what I mean. Watch my right arm. Step, throw it up, swing back. Step, throw it up, swing back. Step, throw it up, swing back. Now, once you get familiar with it, with that heel off the ground, you what's called pivot. Boom. I'm turning my heel the same direction the kick's going. Imagine there's a string from this heel to this heel. When this heel flies up, this heel spins through. So if I put the momentum together, I'm swiping the arm, I'm taking the step with the heel up, back to the fight stance. Do that one more time, back to the fight stance. So for now, on both legs, step, throw the leg up, swing it, reset. Just like we step into the knees and foot jabs, step. This is my right foot. Step, throw the left leg up, swing the left arm, step back. Step in, swing, step back. Step in, swing, step back. Let's put them all together from the beginning, 1 through 16, left to right. And then from there, you want to get creative and create your own patterns. Here we go, from the beginning. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. Left foot jab, reset. Right foot jab, reset. Left knee, reset. Right knee, reset. Elbows over the top, left to right, underneath, left to right. Step, left shot, swing the left arm, back out. Step, right leg, swing the right arm, back out. There you go. 16 techniques. Get comfortable and get familiar and get creative. Again, you can do this as a warm-up. Just that, I'm sweating, my heart rate's moving, I'm loosened up. I could go into a workout right now. So try this out. Run this back a lot because all these little details on this are important. So all these techniques are going to apply just to get you familiar with how to move your body. It's a good workout. You're really going to learn how to understand the basics. This is already going to put you far above somebody that's never trained before. Again, Facebook group, ask me any questions, especially about this because this is my world. I'm in the middle of filming an entire Muay Thai system on a heavy bag, teaching you from the zero to however far you want to go with the martial art. I've teamed up with Hollywood, meaning it as an employee from Hollywood that's bringing all his equipment into the gym. We're filming. We got the lights, we got the high lens cameras, we got the angles, we're blackening out. It's sick. It's going to look like a Hollywood production. Trust me, I've never seen anything like what we're making. This guy is unreal when it comes to talent. So just look out for that one later on this year. An entire system of Muay Thai, unlike anything I've ever seen as far as the actual videography behind it. It is unbelievable. So look out for that one. But take this, make sure you try to look in the mirror to watch yourself. Believe me, it's going to really teach you how to basics when it comes to Muay Thai. Have fun with it. Get creative. There's no wrong combination. Get fun with it. Move around, mix it up, play with all 16 techniques, and just get creative and do whatever you want as far as combinations. Just gives you a chance to just kind of have fun with it. All right, try it out. We'll see you in the next one.